Moving on here, we have the switch statement. Like we've mentioned previously with the, walking through the text material, a switch is no different than an if-else chain, aside from the fact that it's a bunch more compact. So here we have enter a 1, a 2, or a 3. We would need if keyboard equals 1 statement, else if keyboard equals 2 statement, else if keyboard equals 3 statement. That turns out to be a lot of typing. It turns out to be a lot of code. The switch is much faster. So here we can see the syntax for it. It is from lines 20 all the way down to line 34 here. So inside of the parens right here, we have the condition that we're testing, and we are testing number. So that number is coming from our keyboard. So then the case, come on, there we go. The case is what we're comparing that against, and here is 1. So that's what happens if I enter the number 1. Here's case 2. That's what happens if I enter, you guessed it, the number 2. Case 3, I know you know where this is going, but I do want to highlight here the default case. Default is everything else. I put purple, I put blueberries, I put 4 in there. That's not 1 or 2 or 3. So we would, strike here on the default case. So I'm going to go ahead and play nice here, and I'm going to enter in a 3. Now, is 3 a 1? No. So when we enter into this case, or the switch statement, this case will not be executed. We're going to check, is our number we entered 3, 2? No. We're going to come down here. Is this evaluated as true? 3 equals 3. Wait, 3 equals 3. Yup, still good. This is, the case that we are going to see. So we should see you entered a 3 as the output here after I hit enter. Huzzah! There it is. You entered a 3. Now, actually, let's stop this. The one thing I do want to mention is that we have break statements here, right? And a break statement indicates to Java that when we are operating here inside of a switch statement, that we want to stop evaluating for truth once we have found it. Because otherwise what happens is it's known as falling through. Any of these extra statements that happens after truth is found evaluates as true, so they're going to also be executed on. So if I run this time, you entered a 1, you entered a 2, you entered a 3, that's not a 1, a 2, or a 3. But without the break in here. So I'm going to enter 1, and what we would expect to see is the output, you entered a 1, and then nothing for the program to terminate. But this time, we get you entered 1, you entered 2, you entered 3. That's not a 1, a 2, or a 3. It's because our logic fell through. These breaks have to be there because we need them to be there. Now, there are times where falling through is okay. In those cases where we've got a bunch of values that are going to evaluate the same way, we can actually use the falling through to our advantage. So the next piece of code here, I'm going to change this a little. We can see how that can be used to our advantage.